getting back to 155. If the number ends in a 5, we know it's divisible by what number? Just say it, everybody. Okay. What other number other than 5 can a number end in that would also make it divisible by 5? Sal?
0.
Correct. Any number that ends in a 0 is also divisible by 5. We call that a rule. The rule for 5 is if the number ends in a 5 or a 0, 5 will go into it. Now, how many times it will go into it, you have to do long division to figure that out. This one actually works out pretty nice. Okay, but like a number like 165, well, yeah, okay, I know it ends in a 5. I know 5 will go into it. To figure out how many times, don't guess. Go through long division. 5 goes into 16, at least. How many times? And 5 into 15. And you don't have to write any of this down because I'm going to give you the packet, so don't worry, just take a look and see. Okay, so that's the rule for 5. Now let's go back. Do you know the rule for 2? How do you know whether a number is divisible by 2 or not? Antonio?
If it's not multiplied by 2, it's odd. If it's multiplied by 2, it's divisible.
You got it. So let me take it a step further. How do you know whether a number is even or not? What does it have to end in? Will?
0, 2, 4, 8, 6.
That's it. So any number that ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 is divisible by 2. That's the rule for 2. Yes or no for 162? Will 2 go into it?
Yes.
Yes. 3,189,744. Will 2 go into it?
Yes.
2 will go into it. What is the rule? Let me do the other easy one that most kids know. What's the rule for 10?
Oh, that.
Jazz?
It's the last digit is 0.
Last digit has to be a 0. 10 will go into it. Most kids know 10. Most kids know 5. Most kids know 2. Do you know the rule for 3? They used to teach us down in the elementary school. It got moved up to us in Common Core, but I think it belongs back down in elementary school. So the fair compromise is that at least we could do it early in the year. Do you know what the rule for 3 is? I'll go with you, Liam, because you're coming from a different state.
I think that ends odd.
No, it's a good guess, but it's not having anything to do with odd or even.
3, 6, 2, 8, and 5.
No. Let me just tell you. I'll give you a for instance. Go ahead, Sal. Take a shot.
The sum of the number is divisible by 3.
He's got it.
I'm going to take my own.
See? So he's coming from a different district. I'll give you a for instance. Let's see. Gotta make sure this works out. 161. What? Yes, it is. I'll give you 162. 162, 3 will go into it, and here's how you figure it out. You add up all the sum of the digits. What's 1 plus 6 plus 2? 9. Will 3 go into 9? Therefore, 3 goes into 162. It will work. You got to do long division to figure it out. It goes 54 times, but that's the rule for 3. Yes or no, is it divisible by 3?
No.
Why not? Aiden, why not?
Because the sum of 287 would be 17, which is not divisible by 3.
3 will not work for that number. So that's the rule for 3. The rule for 4 is sometimes helpful, and sometimes it's not so helpful. Sal, do you know the rule for 4? $624 is divisible by 4. I know why. Any guesses? Chris? No, but that's a good guess. Trist.
Because the last digit is even?
We're close. Very close. Angelina?
The last two numbers are 24.
You look at the last two numbers, and if 4 can go into the last two digits, 4 will work for the entire number. 4 goes into 24, so it will work for 624. It's very helpful when you have large numbers.
Oh, yeah. Then you can just do it. Well,
Okay? Look at just the last two digits. Can 4 go into 12? Absolutely, 3 times. Therefore, it will go into the entire number. Lee?
Does the adding do something?
It does not. It'll only work for 3, and as you'll see later, it'll work for 9 as well. Here's where it's not so helpful. You ready? Look at your last two digits. 92, right? Since that number's so high to begin with, you may not know in your head whether 4 can go into 92 or not. Don't guess. If you get stuck, I'm not asking you to put 4 into the large number, but put 4 into 92 and see if it will go evenly. What's 4 into 9? At least twice, right? Takes another maybe 30 seconds to double check, and it will work. Therefore, the entire number will work. So 4, it's not as readily seen as like 2, 5, and 10. It's somewhat helpful. Sometimes you still got to go through a little bit of work to figure it out. 5 we did. 6 is easy. Does anybody know the rule for 6? You know for 6? It's an easy one. It's a great one. It's a great little tool. The rule for 6 is that it has to work for both 2 and 3. If it works for 2 and it works for 3, it automatically will work for 6. If either one's missing, if it only works for 2 but not 3, or 3 and not 2, then that's a no for 6. For instance, $540. Will it work for 2? Yes, because it's an even number. Will it work for 3? Add up the digits. 3 can go into 9. It will work for 3. Automatically will work for 6. Happens to also work for 4 and 5 too, but that's beside the point. Okay, it's got to work for both. There's no rule for 7. There's no rule for 8. You got to go the long way around. But there is a rule for 9. Go ahead, Sal. What is it? Close. Add up the digits, and what has to go into it? Right, add up the digits, and if 9 goes into the sum of the digits, it will work.
I have my own.
Add up the digits. What do you got? What do you get when you add up all the digits? Will 9 go into 9? So therefore, it will work. Will 9 work?
Yes.
How many say yes? Why?
Because it's up to 18 and 9.
Right, adds up to 18, and therefore 9 can go into it. Okay? So far, so good? All right, let's practice. I'm going to give out your lesson packets, and we'll do the first couple together, and then I'm going to take you to the next section, which is prime and composite, and then I can group you up, and you can finish up pages 2, 3, and 4 on your own. the cover sheet has all of the rules we talked about, so you don't want to lose this, and throughout the course of when you're working with your partner, you may need to flip back and forth. Don't guess. If you forget the rule, go back and check the rule until it becomes pretty routine for you. All right, let's get this started together. You're going to go to the second page, and we're going to look at the number 120, letter A, and let's go through our rules test. Starting with 2. Will 2 go into 120? Why? It's an even number, so 2 is definitely one that will work. Will 3 work?
Yes. Yes.
Don't guess. The rule for 3 is most often forgotten by students. Add the digits. If you want a little shortcut, add up all the digits of all of your problems first, and then it can go back, because you're going to need that for 3 and 9. Can 3 go into 3?
Yeah.
Therefore, it can go into 120. The rule for 4. Look at the last 2 digits. Can 4 go into 20? Therefore, it goes into 120. What about 5? It ends in a 0. What about 6? Automatic. If it works for 2 and 3, it works for 6. What about 9? Be careful. No, 9 cannot go into 3. Don't reverse it. Don't say to yourself, oh, 3 goes into 9. 9 goes into 3. It can't. No for 9. And for 10?
Yes.
Done. Let's do one more. Question? 6 is automatic if 2 and 3 appear on your list. Both numbers have to be there. If 2 and 3 are there, 6 is automatically a yes. If anyone's missing, 6 is a no. It works for 3. It will not work for 9, because 9 can't go into 3.
3 can go to 9, but 9 can.
Charles, which one are you questioning, 6 or 9? 6 is not an issue because it's got to work for 2 and 3, and it does. It's an even number, so it works for 2. It works for 3 because 3 can go into 3, right? It won't work for 9 because 9 can't go into 3. 9 can't go into 3. 9 can only go into 9 or 18 or 27 and so forth, or 36. The rule for 5 is it's got to end in a 0 or 5. You know what? I'll come and talk to you after I go through it. We'll chat further. What about 435? Yes or no for 2?
No.
No for 2. It's an odd number. 3.
Yes.
Add up all the digits. It's 12. 3 will work, because 3 can go into 12. 4.
Yes. 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 Yes.
My last 2 digits, can 4 go into it? No. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. Be careful with 4. Be careful with 4. Don't take shortcuts and say, oh, it looks like 4 can go into 35, and you say yes for it. No for 4. 5. Absolutely. It ends in a 5 or a 0. Ready? 6. No, because you don't have 2. You have to have both. No for 6. 9. Can 9 go into 12? No. Multiples of 9. 9, 18, 27, 36. No for 9. 10. 3 and 5 are the only ones that will work. Okay. You will do the rest on your own, but I want you to skip now to the next page, and I want to go over prime versus composite numbers. Exercise 2 at the bottom of page 3. I know you learned it, but some of you forgot it. What's the definition of the prime number? Julia? and a number that's divisible by 1 and itself. Those are the only two numbers that would be able to go into it. If there's another factor other than 1 in itself, it's called composite. Ring a bell? No? Let's practice it. Let's practice it. The number 4, other than 1 and 4, 1 will go into it 4 times, 4 goes into it once. Other than 1 and 4, is there another number that goes into 4? Just say it, because you should know it. 2. Once you have one factor, other than 1 in itself, it is composite. That's it. What about 9? 3 goes into it. 3 times 3.
Oh, I thought it was only times 2.
Therefore, it's composite. Okay? Can I just tell you, be careful with prime and composite numbers. Because now that you have your divisibility rules, don't guess. Go through your divisibility rules for 9. You say to yourself, can 2 go into it? Well, no, but 3 can. Once you find one number that goes into it other than 1 in itself, you don't need to go any further. It's composite. Let me practice that a little bit with you. Let me go to a fresh page. We'll play a little game. I'll write down the number and we'll vote. How many say prime?
Oh, yeah.
How many say composite?
Oh, wait, sorry.
You want to revote? It's composite. Because other than 1 and 15, what number goes into it? 5. Look, there's the rule for 5. And 3, add the digits. 6 goes into it. Now, I know a lot of you know it by heart, okay, which is fine, but I'm just saying, if you get stuck, you still have your divisibility rules to help you. Ready? How many say prime? How many say composite? Very good. 11, 4, and 2. Very nice. How many say prime? How many say composite? Good. How many say prime? How many say composite? Good. How many say prime? 57. How many say composite? 57 is what I call a sneak attack number. It sits low in the bushes, and it's looking for students. When they pop up their head and say composite, it shoots you right in the kneecaps. Because 57 is composite.
Oh, I get it.
What's 5 plus 7?
12.
Can 3 go into 12? It's a sneak attack number. You're not alone if you just got bit. You're not alone because it happens every year with 57. Okay? Some numbers, they look prime. You know why they look prime? Because 5 is prime and 7 is prime, so when you put them together, it looks like it's a prime number, and it's not. Okay? It's a sneak attack number. So be careful because you have your divisibility rules. Prime or composite? How many say prime? How many say composite? Good. How many say prime? How many say composite? How many say prime? How many say composite? Good. That's another sneak attack number, but that time you learned. Sneak attack is a 39 and a 57. Those are the two big snipers in the bushes. 57 and 39. Okay, they sit there and they wait for unsuspecting students to say composite or to say prime, and they come and get you. So just be careful. One more other thing I want to show you, and then I'll let you guys go in your groups. Divisibility rules. Let's go through the divisibility rules for 139. Will 2 work? Will 2 work? 3. What's the sum of the digits? 3 can't go into it. No for 3. Will 4 work? Will 5 work?
No.
6,
No.
9, no for 9. Will 10 work? Therefore, prime or composite? Guess what? It's composite. Okay, here's the deal. I want you to. I'm not here to trick you. I'm not gonna give you something like these types of numbers on quizzes or tests. Okay, my point is this: is that your divisibility rules are there to kind of help you, but it's not a perfect science. There are numbers that don't fit into the rules that are still composite. I'll give you another example. 64 is 8 times 8, but if you go through your divisibility rules, none of the numbers will work. And there's no rule for 8. Okay? 139 happens to be 13 times 13. But let's learn this. You've just learned another important lesson. A prime times a prime is always a composite number. 11 times 11 doesn't work for any of your divisibility rules, but it's 121. If you go through all your divisibility rules for 121, you'll get nothing out of it, but it is composite. So just be careful. Divisibility rules will really be, it's very helpful, but it's not perfect. Okay? What you guys are going to do in class between now and the end is pages 2, 3, and 4. And again, a reminder, the homework is 10, 11, and 12. Before you can go on to your homework, there's 2, 3, and 4 that you need to check. There's answer keys hanging up. Work in your groups. After everything is good, then you can start your homework.